Thanks, Sean. Good morning, everybody. I'm here to talk to you about the Computer Programming and Analysis webinar. I am a professor here at St. Lawrence College in the program. I teach web development. I teach HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP. I teach quality assurance and a few other courses. And if you didn't understand any of those acronyms, that is totally fine. We have no programming experience required coming into our program. So it's a 3-year program, which means you will end up with an Ontario College Advanced Diploma. Our program is very much related to business requirements, and so you do not have to worry about doing advanced calculus or any sort of high-level math for this program. It is business requirements, so we're talking about financial math, things like that. So basically arithmetic, financial type of mathematics, that's it. Okay, we're going to teach you a wide range of things. We cover software development on many platforms, so you will learn how to write applications for a PC or the web, of course, your phone, any large data processing applications as well. We have a number of full-time and part-time professors in the program. All of our faculty members are hired based on their work experience. And so we want you to know that we won't hire a faculty member who has not worked in the field and learned by doing, as well as, of course, having an education in the field. A lot of our program is experiential learning because it's a hands-on activity, and so many of our classes take place in a lab environment, and I'll talk about work placement a little bit later. A lot of it is about problem solving and critical thinking, and it's nice because it's not dull. It's always changing and you're always challenged, and we'll prepare you for all of those challenges. So some of our graduates are working in computer programming, web development, systems development, data modeling. There's a lot of discussion these days about big data and how we don't have enough skilled people to understand and manage big data. So there's a breakdown of our 3-year program. I'm not going to go through every course. I can answer any specific questions you have. But what I want you to take away is that we do not assume any previous knowledge at all. And so as long as you meet the requirements for the program, you do not have to have any programming experience or networking experience. What you'll find if you come into the program with experience is that you might find semester 1 too easy. And that's okay. You'll be wishing you had that in second year when you're super busy. After that, it picks up. So if you are coming in with no programming experience, that's okay. It's pretty much a level playing field by second year. The work placement program is a very strong component of our program. So what will happen is you will go to school for 2 years. And then in the winter of your second year, you will start applying for work placement positions. We put on a work placement fair where we invite all of the employers and all of the students to the same place, and they meet each other and interview and provide resumes. The work placement runs for 8 months, 2 days a week, from September to April. And so it's very popular because you get work experience on your resume. The other added bonus for ours is a lot of our students get programming positions after second year. It's not a requirement, it's not guaranteed, and it is not part of the work placement. But most of our work placement employers want you for a year, so they'll pay you for the summer, and then you'll do work placement September to April, and that will be unpaid from September to April. The beauty of that is you get to really dig your teeth into applications, and you have a year's experience on your resume when you're done.
Janice, can I jump
of course.
For a second? We know that a placement is a very big, very popular component of many of our programs here at SLC. Would you have 1 or 2 examples of maybe some placement opportunities here in Kingston or Ottawa, or maybe some of the bigger cities that our students would be familiar with, just to give our attendees an overview of maybe the places they would go?
Sure. So our work placement program, because it's 8 months long, you are taking courses at the same time as you are in work placement. So your work placement needs to be local to the Kingston area. So it's not our requirement so much as your requirement. You're not going to drive to Toronto that much. You're not going to drive to Ottawa that much. So our placements take place in Kingston and area, and there are many local companies that we have. There's surprisingly a large number of small software development houses in town, and they hire a lot of our students. The Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care takes a lot of placement students and graduates. I'm trying to think of the other employers. Queen's University, of course, there's about 8 departments that take our students. The nice thing about those positions is that they have you for 8 months or a year, and by the end, they really know that you're a good worker, and so they will often hire the work placement students on graduation. There's no guarantees, of course, but that does happen frequently. So at Queen's, they're doing all sorts of interesting things. They're working with researchers to build applications for build unique applications. Then there's a lot of local companies that hire, like Benefits by Design, and Novari Health is a big proponent. We also have insurance companies that are very interested in hiring our grads. I hope that answers the question. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
I asked and I didn't get a response yet on the job placement rates from our program. And so anecdotally, we would say 80% of our students get jobs. And so what that means is within 6 months of graduation, you have a job in the field. So our rate about that is, I would say, at least 80%. If the entire third year class says, I'd like to stay in Kingston, that's going to be tricky. But there are many programming jobs out there, some in Kingston and many in the larger cities, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. Some of them are going to California, to Google or Facebook. So it's quite exciting and it's quite rewarding because our students come in with little experience and they leave with a great job. So.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, I think we talked about the demand for our students, and we talked about how all of your professors have work experience. We try to be very approachable. We're on a first name basis. There's a couple of quotes there from a graduate and an employer. I had an employer at Queen's say, I used to hire Queen's grads and now I hire the CPA grads, and they like the CPA grads because the day you graduate, you are ready to code. You have experience and practical application in your program and in your work placement, so they like our graduates very much. We had a graduate or a work placement student that did a placement at a local company, and they liked his work so much they asked him to present it in California to the owners of the company. So that was a big success. We had another student 2 years ago that won an award for their work at work placement. So that was pretty exciting too. It's really rewarding as a faculty member to see these students succeed. Kingston's a great town. I'm a classic story. I came here for school and never left. It's a very common thing in Kingston. It's a beautiful place in the summer. It's really nice in the winter. There's lots going on. It's not a bustling, crazy, busy town like Toronto or Ottawa. Your commute is quite short here. We've done some renovations in the last few years that have been really popular. The gym is beautiful, and there's like a nice restaurant / bar beside it where you can go and hang out with your friends or just watch a game. They've also added a lot more study space and social space so that people with laptops have somewhere to go and hang out, talk to your friends, like, my program's not working, what do I do? There's lots of places for that now. We have a great gym. You can check it all out at one of our open houses. Did you want to talk a little bit about this, Sean? Because you have more familiarity.
Yeah, we know that paying for college is obviously a big concern for a lot of people. What I'll say is this: we have great OSAP people or financial aid officers here on the campus that are willing to guide you through that process. And then our bursaries and scholarships, we have plenty of them that are open all year round. The first deadline is at the end of April, so if you applied by February, you're still taking your time to decide. You've still got a lot of time to get your application in. You only have to fill out one application to be eligible for every one of our scholarships at the college, which is great. That's a big time saver. And we often hear each year that some scholarships actually don't end up getting used because we don't have enough people applying. So I hope that maybe if you decide to come here, that will stick with you and you will try and take advantage of some of the great opportunities that are afforded to you. We've got some key contacts here. Again, one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the presentation is that we are recording this, and we will send you a link, a YouTube link out after. So if you have missed anything, don't worry about that. And especially with this slide, you will be able to come back and refer to it. There's all kinds of contact information here for admissions, residents, financial aid, everything that you really, if you need special learning accommodations, you can contact Student Services. We're here for you in many different ways. So don't be afraid to reach out, and you can refer back to this slide after. And then some postgraduate opportunities. I will hand this back to Janice, and I can touch base on that too if you need.
Hello. Yeah, we do have articulation agreements with different post-secondary institutions around the world. You can look at the link. The easiest thing I would say is to look at the link and check them all out. One of the ones that's been super popular is people like to go to Ireland and visit the country, and then they end up with a university degree after their college diploma. You can also go to Queen's University and other locations, so you can check out the links on the site. We have an open house coming up. So that's Saturday, April 4th. I think it's worth the trip. I certainly found with my own kids that the best thing for them to do is to travel around to the different schools that they wanted to see. I think when you come on campus, you will walk on this campus and hopefully you'll love it. But I think one thing's for sure, when you walk on the campus, you will know how you feel about it. And it's a very personal thing. So your friend might love it and another friend might say that school, obviously not this school, that school isn't for me. And so I feel like it's a real benefit to come and check out the place. Yeah, I recognize that's difficult if you're across the planet, but sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and if that date doesn't work for you, for whatever reason, you're busy with sports or a wedding or something going on, you can book a tour at any time and come in and have a guided one-on-one tour here at the college. If you want more information about open house, you can visit stlawrencecollegeca/open house. Pretty simple. Those details will also be in a follow-up email that we will send out after you. So don't worry about that. We will get that to you. And as Janice said, it's a great way to come meet some faculty, tour residents, see the library, really envision yourself as a future student here at SLC. And we know you will get some benefit from that. We hope that if you're interested in the program or perhaps another program here at the college, that you will take some time on April 4th and come visit us.
Great, thanks. Okay, so I was thinking about, I will get to your questions in a second, about some of the other things that students often ask about, and that is class size. And so the class sizes, I think, are pretty good. And part of the reason is that our computer labs are limited in size, which is great because that limits the class size. So you will have some classes that are in a lecture and classroom and some classes that are in a lab environment. The labs fit 35 to 45. The classroom lectures could be up to, say, 65. It varies from year to year, but I would say the lectures can be a maximum of 65. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. And so one of the things that happens is you make some really lifelong friends here because you're all sitting around a computer trying to solve a problem. So that's nice. You make a lot of friends. Sometimes we end up with couples that end up getting married. A laptop is not required for our program, but I'd have to say that most students have one. Okay, so probably 90% of the class have a laptop, but it's not a requirement. What is a requirement is you need a computer. So whether that's a desktop or a laptop is up to you. We're running Windows applications, so you're either going to want a Windows machine or a Mac with Windows installed on it with Parallels or something like that. If you're concerned about how big my laptop has to be, I think the easiest thing is to look at the system requirements for Visual Studio. You don't have to know what Visual Studio is. Just Google it. Google Visual Studio system requirements. And if you meet those requirements, then your laptop is good.